Hello and welcome to Tyrannus Gaming. Today we'll be taking a look at Trinity. So let's go ahead and begin. We will be utilizing 20 times Kuba Lancers. It will be Steel Path. The AI will be paused so I can explain what's going on. And the enemy level will be 145. Trinity's passive ability allows her to touch someone from a safe distance until they get up. Trinity's number 1 ability is known as Well of Life. This is what it looks like. You'll notice that the enemy is lifted, and when the enemy is lifted, it means they cannot respond to you. This is very useful if you need to synthesize a target. You simply use Well of Life and scan them. During the duration of this ability, you will receive health regeneration along with your allies. It also helps to note that you're immune to status effects so long as you stand within the range of this ability. And the best thing about this ability is that any allies that shoot him will regenerate even more health. This is what that looks like. So two things just happened. A, you cannot see my health regenerate because I have full health. However, all damage done to the guy who is lifted will in fact be carried over at the end of the duration, doing all of your damage to him directly. This means that if you're having trouble killing an Xmas unit, or really anybody at all, cast Well of Life, and then shoot them in the head relentlessly, and when the duration ends, they'll take all of that as damage to their health. Trinity's number 2 ability looks like this. Now, you will notice that the enemy is pulsing. That is because the enemy will pulse 4 times over the duration of the ability. You will also take note that the enemy takes damage during the duration. And that is because Energy Vampire does true damage. Even though it is an incredibly weak ability, it still does not change the fact that it bypasses all armor, shields, and enemy damage resistances, doing absolutely maximum damage straight to their health. This means regardless of how strong the enemy is, you can simply kill them in 2 to 4 hits. That being said, if you happen to notice at the bottom right, look at our energy pool, it says 225. Let's go ahead and expend this energy, and I'll show you what Energy Vampire is actually meant to do. So fun little detail, if you want to deactivate Well of Life early, you just simply press your ability button again and it will disable it. Now, if we cast Energy Vampire on a target, we will simply regenerate energy over its duration. That's 1 pulse, 2 pulses, 3, and 4 pulses means we can get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Grenier Tootsie Pop. However, if you're impatient like me and you simply want to get there quicker, we can negate all 4 pulses by killing the enemy prematurely, and thus regenerate our health pool, or energy pool, at a much quicker rate. Do not underestimate the power of a delicious Grenier candy. They're quite addictive. Enjoy at will. Now, if you're like me and you want to share the love, just remember that anytime you use this ability, your allies will also regenerate energy within the range. So don't be stingy with your range, because it also affects Trinity's number 3 ability, also known as Link, not to be confused with the tiny green man. This is what that looks like. Now you will immediately notice that I happen to have tendrils, and this is not to be confused with an unfortunate cartoon trope. By cartoon trope, of course, I'm referring to anime and its unfortunate subgenre. Now, As I said, if you're like me and you like to share the love, don't watch that content, you're going to go ahead and cast Link. And if you do this appropriately, you will receive 75% damage reduction. You will note this means that you will receive 75% less damage. And, if I must be more clear, it means that instead of taking 100 damage, you will take 25 damage. Also, fun little detail, when the enemies are linked together, the 25% damage that you are in fact taking will be divided over all three of them. This means that you take even more damage reduction, and you take even less damage. I hope you understood that, because I started mumbling over myself like a lunatic, because the flashing blue orbs are distracting me, as I'm very much an energy-hungry psychopath. Moving on, Trinity's number 4 ability happens to be known as Blessing. As you can see, we have no energy, so I can't really demonstrate this. So let's go ahead and pick up the energy orbs. Blessing is our number 4 ability. It restores your health and shields, including those of nearby allies, while reducing the damage taken. And, well, let me put it this way, at maximum capacity, you can regenerate your shields and your health up to 100%, and give your allies and yourself 75% damage reduction. This means that mixed with Link, you will take very little to no damage, provided you're not facing down level 145 Steel Path Kuva Elite Lancers. Or just Kuva Lancers. Regardless, this is pretty much the extent of Trinity's abilities. And while I did try to make this video a little exciting, I'm actually going to show you something I normally don't do. Well, I think he died by his own self. I would use the other word, but I don't want to get banned. My point is, Trinity is incredibly good at crowd control. And, if you happen to notice, what I failed to mention was that Energy Vampire will lock your target down and prevent him responding, because over its duration, it will stagger him. This means at minimum, Trinity can pretty much disable 2 targets simultaneously. Link, Restoration also both affect allies, their sentinels, their pets, and the target. I probably should have mentioned this sooner, but hey, it is what it is. Now, since you've stuck with me this long, I figure I ought to show you a special treat. This is the Trinity we're using, and this is the Trinity that I use. Now, obviously, a special build requires a special appearance. That's much better. And as we do, we help all our allies in times of need. This is obviously what a barracks bunny is. Please don't get curious and look it up. Because, and I'll tell you this right now, that would be very unwise. As you can see, a barracks bunny is really good at helping people sleep. Now let me go ahead and show you what she's actually capable of, all jokes aside. As you can see, for the duration of her abilities, she is effectively immortal. This is really good because she can give energy and health to all of her allies, especially with all the excess mods and arcanes I have on her. I hope you all learned something new, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Happy Easter, even if it's late. Get the hell out of my way.